A lot of times people deem dogs aggressive when they're actually just reactive. And if you don't actually know what the difference is, then don't even consider euthanasia. You should not be killing a dog you don't even understand. Hey sailors, it's the girl with the lighthouse tattoo, and I'm here just to make a really super quick video about the whole Nikki Phillippi situation. I have literally never heard of this person before today, and I'm not surprised because once I watched the video in question, I realized that this person is pretty Jesus-y, and nothing against Christian people or anyone who's religious. I just personally am not that way. It's just a little upsetting to hear that an animal was deprived of a second chance. Basically, so I watched this video about a woman and a man who I assume are married. They had a dog. It was the man's dog originally. And he seems very broken up about the situation, and she's the one kind of giving all the details, and he's kind of explaining how he feels about it and kind of like giving more information about the situation. Ultimately, they had to put down their bull terrier for aggression, behavior issues, I guess. Ultimately, I don't really know what to say on this subject because, like, as a person who owns a pit bull, who has been told by multiple professionals that he should be put down, and he's never attacked a dog, he's never been really the type of dog that you would deem aggressive. He's reactive. He'll bark, he'll lunge, but as an appropriate, responsible owner would do, I have never allowed him to be in a situation where he would put another dog or a person at risk. That's just never happened. So he's fine. I've had the guy for going on 8 years almost. He's 10. Like, you know, I got him maybe 7 years actually. I've had him. He was a couple years old when I got him. I want to say 2013, maybe 2014. I got him. And yeah, so we've had our issues. Like, it's not an easy thing dealing with a dog that has behavior problems and like aggression or reactive issues. It's like a serious commitment. And sometimes that means like a lifestyle change. Your social life might change. You might not be able to see the same amount of people you did before, especially while you're training the dog. But a few really, really big red flags started to show up right away in the video. Obviously, watching it, the woman seems a lot more insincere than the man does. There's some weird moments of like fake crying, or like what appears to be fake crying is just like weird forced emotion and just like weird snuggling that just like doesn't add up. Then there comes the question of whether they seeked help to see if there was like a rehoming option. The woman also mentions that they were worried about liability because in the state that they live, even if they give the dog away to somebody else and that dog ends up harming someone, it's still their liability because they've had this dog for 10 years. And I'm like, wow. So you're just worried about getting sued? Is that what it's like to live in America? Like, you just live your life according to what you got to do not to get sued? Like, I understand where someone's coming from in that sense, like, especially if you have a platform of like over 1 million whatever people that they do. Shocking, first of all. I've literally never heard of this person, but anyways, yeah, so like I understand the fear, but it's just kind of gross that that's like what she was focused on. And then also the fact that they asked professionals who said that like they should get this dog euthanized, and like, yeah, professionals have told me to euthanize perfectly healthy dogs because of behavior issues as well. There are situations where it's necessary, but those are very extreme neurological issues generally, like something that can't be dealt with. In the video themselves, they mention a situation where the dog was a puppy and the man who was the owner was there while the puppy was attacked by another dog. And then since that point, the dog's had issues. Okay, well, as a pet owner, as a responsible pet owner, what you should do in that moment is address the issue. and teach the dog that that's not normal, that that's not what should have transpired. And then you teach that dog that, hey, this was a negative situation, so here's how we rectify it. Like, you socialize the dog. And they said, okay, so this dog just can't go out in public at all. Like, we're terrified if this dog even makes it out the front door. Like, dogs need walks. Like, it's really wrong of you to keep a dog indoors all the time. Even if you have a yard, that's nice for pooping and pissing at best. Like, use it as a toilet if you want for quick trips to the bathroom. But like, dogs use their noses the way we use our eyes. So like, if you look at a pretty sunset, a dog wants to sniff like a tree trunk that has all sorts of different smells from all the animals that live inside. Like, you're depriving them of enjoyment, of letting them see anything new and different. Like, we go on vacation to experience new and exciting things. If you just trap a dog inside all the time, that's not fair to the dog. So for them to say this dog absolutely can never go outside and we can't rehome the dog because no one else could handle the dog. Like, no, the way you're treating the dog is not appropriate for helping the dog. So yeah, no one else can do it the way you do it because the way you're doing it is wrong, bro. Like, straight up. If a dog has been attacked, you don't just never allow that dog to see another dog because they're reactive to other dogs because they're scared. All you're doing is feeding into that fear. Yeah, it's hard trying to teach a dog not to be afraid. That's the hardest thing I've ever had to teach a dog. It took years. It took a lot of training. It costs money. It takes effort. But you don't just kill an animal because you can't handle it. Like, at least that's what I believe. Everyone's different. Clearly, these like rich folks who could afford it a hell of a lot more than I can were all about giving up before even trying. I mean, I'm sure they tried. I'm sure there's a lot more to the story. This is one video that we get and we make a whole bunch of assumptions out of it. And I'm really trying to give these complete strangers the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't really know that much about them. And maybe they're better people and better dog owners than I know. But like, if this dog is like bitten multiple other dogs and like has now bitten your child, like, and that's why you want to put it down because it bit your child. Like, do you know how many times, like, I got my dog from a couple because the woman got pregnant and she didn't want to deal with a pit bull anymore. Like, they're really nice people and they still check up on him every so often. They'll send me messages on Instagram and they'll follow his little Instagram that I made specifically for my dog. And they'll comment and, like, you know, ask about him and stuff. And that's sweet. They care. But at the same time, they pick their child over their dog. And like, in my world, my dog is part of my family. It's not one or the other. It's how do we work together? Like, I don't know. I just don't live in a world where you just get rid of your dog because of a kid or like because of a little cut on his face or whatever. Like, I've seen kids like who didn't have their fingernails cut short enough completely demolish the shit out of their own faces. Babies are fine. Like, their skin heals so fast. Like, do you not remember being a kid and scraping your knee and the next day it was fine and now you do it and it takes 3 weeks to heal? Like, kids are fine, okay? Kids are fine. A small little scratch is not a reason to kill a dog. The whole photo shoot question is so cringy. I mean, like, okay, so I understand wanting photos of your dog before you're going to say goodbye to it, before you're going to kill it, euthanize it, whatever the word you want to use. I want to understand, like, as a photographer, as someone who takes a lot of photos of a lot of things that other people might be like, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. I do it and I get it. But in the situation that you're saying this dog is so dangerous and so unpredictable that you're waiting for the big bite to happen, and that's why you need to kill the dog, and it's fine enough for you to take a photo shoot with the dog and your child together. Like, he's cool enough for photos, which takes some planning, takes some effort, takes some time. That's not like he seems fine in the photos. He seems chill, relaxed, happy. Like, maybe he was already given medication and he was sedated. I mean, we don't know all the details, but I just don't like it. If you're going to get a dog, that is large and powerful, a Doberman, a German Shepherd, any sort of big breed that's got a strong jaw, especially bull terriers of any kind, whether they be pit bull or otherwise, that long, beautiful slanted nose, which is the type of dog that they had. Just understand that you're in for some work. And if you want to hide away your dog because you don't want to deal with your dog's problems, not only are those problems going to escalate, but you're also depriving that dog of a real life. And that's not fair. You should just not own a dog if you do that. It's a really selfish and shitty thing to do, to just keep a dog indoors all the time. Like, especially if you live in an apartment building, like, what do you expect a dog to get out of a house? Dogs are made for the outdoors, you know, at least multiple times a day you should be walking them around the neighborhood so they can sniff things and, like, you know, mark their territory as they would like to do, especially the males. Like, let them be dogs. Like, stop keeping dogs indoors and then being surprised when they're reactive to other dogs. Yeah, he's going to bark at other dogs and get crazy because not only is he scared, but he also has no idea what the hell to do around a dog because you've never socialized him. I don't really personally believe in dog parks, especially if you've got an animal that is reactive. You could have the greatest muzzle in the world, and he was talking about having a special bull terrier muzzle because of the shape of their face and blah, blah, blah. But, like, if you don't teach your dog appropriate behaviors and what to do in certain situations and train them properly, it doesn't matter what kind of muzzle you have. Like, a dog is going to do damage. Like, let's be real. At the end of the day, you have to be a dog owner who gives a shit and who's willing to teach your dog how to be a dog and willing to correct them in a non-aggressive way. Like, if you teach your dog that when you do the right thing, you get praise, and they don't grow up with fear. Fear is not the solution, I don't think. Like, no dog that has ever been in my life has responded well to fear, so why would I ever do that? Like, I just raise my voice slightly and my dogs are like, oh, what's happening? Because that's not how we live, you know? That's just not an appropriate way to live around a dog, you know? Just, like, be chill, teach them to be chill, you know? And if you've got dog issues, I feel for you. Like, when I first got my dog, it was a hassle, and I actually had cut a tendon in my thumb, and I had to get surgery, and I think you can see the scar on my thumb. Anyways, I didn't know that when I got my dog, but I had already injured it, and I was just walking around with, like, a tensor bandage, like, it'll be fine, it'll get better, whatever. I probably just sprained it. And then after 2 weeks, I went to the hospital. They said, you're coming in for surgery tomorrow. This is like an immediate thing. You've already waited way too long. We have to operate, blah, blah, blah. So that was that. And then suddenly I was like, okay, I have a brand new pit bull who's not great with other dogs. He doesn't like to learn. He's brand new to a new environment after his previous owners gave up on him. The SPCA said they would put him down if they got him. I basically am this dog's last chance. And it's like, I now have to get thumb surgery with a dog I can barely walk down the road with. Did I keep him indoors? Did I give up? Did I, act like I was the only one who was his only hope? No, I got help where I needed it, and ultimately we learned to walk in a way where he was never pulling anymore because there was no need to pull. He trusted me. We walked slowly and together. There's no reason to be yanked down the road by a dog that's twice as powerful as you. You know what I mean? I'm a big girl, but I am not a powerful one. I'm not very strong. So, ultimately, I need a dog that's going to listen to me and be obedient as much as, I'm not trying to be a master or whatever. It's not a weird power dynamic. But at the end of the day, if your dog's not listening to you, it's because they're having issues with you. And if they're having issues with you, it's because they don't trust you. Trust is so essential. I just think there's a lot of things that this weird Nikki Phillippi and her weird husband could have done, I think, and given this dog another chance like that. I've heard from people that you should put down your dog. Just because you've heard that from a professional doesn't mean it's fact. That dog looked healthy to me. That dog looked fine to me. But again, that's how it looks. Just because we see things on the internet doesn't mean... Sorry, this hair. Just one hair right in my eyeball. Anyways, If you have a difficult dog, please try to get help. Reach out to professionals, reach out to anyone you know that's good with dogs. Even just try to find some videos on YouTube. There's so much help all over the world. Like, anywhere you look, you know what I mean? Like, look online, read some books, watch some TV shows. There's like 1,000 different resources for how to help dogs, especially if they've got any sort of reactive or aggression issues. A lot of times people deem dogs aggressive when they're actually just reactive. And if you don't actually know what the difference is, then don't even consider euthanasia. You should not be killing a dog you don't even understand. If you don't understand why a dog is behaving the way it's behaving, then you can't fix it. So anyways, I'm going to go on a whole other tangent. Long story short, don't be Nikki Phillippi. Do some research, get some help, ask questions. I'm sure she did some of that, but obviously the internet disagrees, and it's really disappointing to see a dog lose its life unnecessarily. Until next time, sailors, I am the girl with a lighthouse tattoo, and if you are new here, I would love it if you could subscribe. If you've made it this far, then, what are you waiting for? I haven't annoyed you out of leaving quite yet. So come on.